You guys, I want you to understand that when a narcissist is insulting their ex and you feel better, that's fine that you feel better. That part's okay. You can feel better if he's insulting them. But first of all, he's probably not even feeling the insult that he's saying. He could be making up an insult. They're trying to make you feel better by insulting their ex. They know you're going to feel better. But I'd like you to know that when they are doing that, they are trying to compliment you and let you know what they don't like. Oh, my ex, please, she was such a nag. She asked me questions every single time I was going out. It drove me crazy. You never do that. I'm so glad you never do that. Fast forward 6 months, you're suspicious. He's been distant, and here it is Friday night, and you say, finally, where you going? Or whatever, however you put it. I'm fast forwarding, because you say whatever, and he starts to flip out. Oh, see, now you're acting just like the ex-girl. He told you how to behave. Now you're stepping out of the compliment he gave you 6 months ago. How dare you? He already told you this to make you know how to behave. They don't fall for this, guys. They talk badly about exes with a new person afoot, and they're comparing you to not even being close to the ex, yet or even like New Supply, you catch him and he's, oh, she's nothing, I'll never see her again, she has ugly hands, I don't know. Meanwhile, 6 months later, he ends up with her. He was insulting her to make you might think, oh, to not make me worry. Maybe, if you're nagging him too much about it and to get you off that, maybe. But it's to compliment you. It's to stir you away from the truth. It's to set you up later if he needs to. It's to let you know how to behave and not behave. When they're insulting the ex, they're going to include information. They're trying to make you know what it was, what aggravated them about the ex. My ex always wanted to talk about everything. And I just love that you accept me as I am. They might say something like that. Oh, my ex, she just wanted to talk about every feeling she had. I love that you and I can just sit here and watch a movie. You just accept me as I am and never ask me any questions. He's telling you, you better accept me as I am and not ask me any questions, because the last one that did is now my ex. But it sounds like a compliment. Oh, I'm so relaxed with him. He tells me I make him relax, and his ex made him a wreck. Give it 6 months. He made her a wreck, and that's why she was asking him questions. Don't just take face value what they're telling you about an insult about their ex. They're telling you not to ask them questions. They're grooming you to know that they didn't like this. It might even be, my ex used to take forever to get ready. I love that you can just shake your hair and go. Right? Maybe that's real. They don't like waiting around for a girl. Meanwhile, 6 months later, he's like, why don't you ever blow dry your hair? Just in the mood to try to devalue you. Weird, odd things. But the insults and the compliments that come at you are purposeful. They're banking all of them. They know which one made you swoon, which one you didn't care about. You'll hear over and over again the one that made you swoon, won't you? Oh, yeah. I sound like a Midwest. Oh, yeah. But I feel like they're trying to convince you that you want the relationship the way that they're saying, so you will hesitate then to confront something ugly, even if you found the receipts. This is all on purpose. They want you afraid to approach things. In fact, oftentimes with narcissists, when they are acting awry and they're acting misbehaving, they're going to come home and shower you. So that if you're showered in love bombing, maybe you're not checking their phone or sniffing around their business, because they know you're going to find something right now. This is all on purpose. And if somebody's showering you and you're deep in love bombing and you did find something, you certainly going to be hesitant to say it, because here's this guy that showed up, that you've been waiting to show up, that you've been on the hamster wheel working hard for him to show back up. Here's the love bombing guy coming in, the 5% guy, giving you all the love bombing. You think you're going to open your mouth now? You just got him back on track. It took 6 months. They know all this. She's ugly. I would never be with her. What do you mean? She called me because her brother's uncle's veterinarian sister wants to do a, deal. Whatever they come up with. It's all malarkey. That's why I say that long, ridiculous sentence. They'll come up with reasons. You know something's wrong. You smell it. You've been quiet about any red flags because you don't want to be like the other person who nagged them. You'll show them love. I won't nag him at all. Meanwhile, we're ignoring our own instincts and we're being eaten from the inside out because we know full well that's not right what just happened over there. And that's not right what just happened over there. But we're not going to say anything because he already said he doesn't like being questioned. His ex did it and he hated it. And he loves about me that I'm quiet. And of course, when it was day 5 and you didn't say anything, now you can't speak up because you were like, oh, thank you, that's nice. But now here it is, a reason for you to speak up, and now you're afraid to. And you hesitate. You don't want to be like the other person. This is all orchestrated. She's very tired today. Minnie's right here, by the way. She's very tired. That's orchestrated to make all of everything that I just rambled on about happen. I know it felt choppy. I even tried to make an outline, but it's too much because there's so many different ways they could come at you. If they're insulting the ex or some new supply they found, and that's their way, they're trying to weave that into a compliment for you, be very suspicious and think it through. Think it through. And the more they insult the new supply that maybe you found something, you're like, who's this? And they tell you it's a sister's, friends, uncles, cousins, whatever. But you know and feel something different, and they usually end up with spending time with that person. They're going to lay on the insults really, really thick because they have to convince you that this person's nothing. I don't even think she's pretty, Renee. She's ugly. You look at you. You're beautiful. And then came my compliments. More insults to the new Boca. Remember Boca, that word? Okay, so he's going to Boca, but she's ugly. I would never. You're so beautiful. Why? To try to make me feel better. At that point, it was so comical and obvious and ridiculous, and it just stunk. Stunk. You could smell it, and so can you. Don't just fall for that and get into the loop of dishing about their ex like, oh my God, really? Did she? She was you. She was me. She's just another girl, you guys. Now, some of you might say, well, she stole him right out from under me. Well, was he ever yours to begin with if somebody can be stolen? That's what they say. I know you might say, well, we were together 30 years. Of course he was mine. I understand, but I'm talking about I don't know how to tell you to handle that. But I just don't get into cozying up with popcorn with them and dishing about their ex and taking in all this information. I know we're all curious to know things, but you're not really getting the truth. You're getting what he's telling you. Remember, you think his story to somebody else about injury he's already hurt, he's already brought you. Do you think his story to somebody else, including the therapist like we talked about Wednesday, would be different than your story? Of course it would. He'd paint you as the villain. It was your fault. You neglected him. He needed to do, my romantic partner's we always say insert your own to make the story your own, but my story follows that. You think that I would have stepped out if you had given me any money? You think I would have, okay. I'm telling you, we ignore our own instincts and we get caught up in listening to what they're saying about the ex. Well, the ex has their own story, just like you have your own story and he has his own story. Don't fall for him insulting one person to compliment you. That's what they're doing. They're insulting one person to compliment another. And you're smarter than that. And so I am too now. But I used to, it's easy. I tried to give you specific examples because it's easy to fall into the conversation. We're curious. Don't fall for it. Don't. You guys have a good weekend. I'll see you Monday.